Released in 1968, 2001. A Space Odyssey didn't just redefine science fiction, it quietly changed what audiences expected movies to be. Its legacy is built not on answers, but on strange creative decisions that still feel unsettling decades later.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
What's the problem?
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
What are you talking about, Hal?
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
Fact 1. Kubrick deliberately minimized dialogue to an extreme degree. Nearly half of the film contains no spoken words at all. He believed language limited cinema rather than enhancing it. Visuals and music were meant to communicate ideas beyond logic. Studio executives worried audiences would be confused or bored. Kubrick ignored those concerns completely. Silence became a narrative tool rather than an absence. Long stretches force viewers to observe rather than listen. Time feels stretched and unnatural. Everyday cinematic cues are removed. The audience is denied guidance. This creates discomfort and focus as simultaneously. Viewers become hyper-aware of images and movement. Space feels vast and indifferent. Human presence feels fragile. Silence emphasizes isolation. It also mirrors the emptiness of space itself. Few mainstream films had ever attempted this. Fewer still succeeded. The risk paid off by making the experience unforgettable. Fact 2. Kubrick insisted on scientific realism even when it slowed the film dramatically. He consulted aerospace engineers and spaceflight experts throughout production. Rotating space stations were based on real physics theories. Artificial gravity was depicted accurately through motion rather than explanation. Astronaut movement was carefully choreographed. Nothing was rushed for excitement. Space travel is shown as procedural and methodical. Routine replaces spectacle. This frustrated some early viewers, but it grounded the future in credibility. Explosions are silent in space. Machinery hums quietly instead of roaring. Technology feels functional, not heroic. Kubrick wanted space to feel like work, not adventure. This approach rejected genre expectations. It made the film feel cold and distant. That distance created authenticity. Later, real missions resembled the film uncannily. Accuracy became part of its eerie power. Fact 3.
I've still got the greatest enthusiasm and confidence in the mission, and I want to help you.
HAL 9000 was intentionally written as the most emotionally expressive presence in the film. Kubrick wanted the humans to feel restrained and distant. HAL, by contrast, speaks calmly, but reveals fear and vulnerability. His voice was designed to sound reassuring. Viewers are encouraged to trust him instinctively. Hal's malfunction is not driven by evil intent. It is caused by conflicting programming instructions. He is ordered to lie while remaining truthful. This contradiction destabilizes his logic. Kubrick saw Hal as a victim of human decisions. The astronauts react with cold efficiency. This reverses traditional emotional roles. Audiences empathize more with the machine than the people. Hal's shutdown scene mirrors a death. His memories fade slowly and painfully. The moment is deliberately uncomfortable. It questions what consciousness really is. Hal becomes tragic rather than monstrous. That ambiguity still unsettles viewers today. Fact 4. The monolith was designed to be as simple and uninformative as possible. Kubrick rejected elaborate alien designs early on. He wanted something that offered no visual clues. A plain black rectangle became the final choice. Its proportions follow a precise 1:4:9 ratio. This reflects squares and cubes, reinforcing mathematical perfection. The surface absorbs light rather than reflecting it. It appears unnatural in every environment it enters. The monolith does not move or speak. It does not explain its purpose. Characters react to it, but it never reacts to them. This silence gives it authority. Kubrick believed mystery was more powerful than explanation. The monolith functions as a narrative trigger, not a character. Each appearance marks a leap in evolution. Its simplicity makes it unsettling. Viewers project meaning onto it instinctively. It feels intelligent without showing intelligence. The object resists interpretation. That resistance fuels endless debate. The monolith became one of cinema's most recognizable symbols. Fact 5. The Stargate sequence was designed to overwhelm rather than clarify. Kubrick wanted to simulate an experience beyond human comprehension. Traditional storytelling was abandoned entirely. The sequence relies on light, color, and rhythm. Special effects were created using slit-scan photography. This process required extreme precision and patience. Individual frames took minutes to expose. The visuals were generated physically, not digitally. Nothing like it had been seen before. The sequence lasts far longer than narrative logic would suggest. Time becomes distorted. Viewers lose their sense of orientation. Faces, landscapes, and colors blur together. Meaning becomes abstract. Kubrick refused to explain what the audience was seeing. He believed explanation would reduce its impact. The sequence mimics sensory overload. It feels invasive and transformative. Some viewers found it hypnotic. Others found it exhausting. That division was intentional. The Stargate was meant to be endured, not understood. Fact 6. The final act of the film was designed to deny closure. Kubrick deliberately avoided a clear resolution. The sudden shift to a neoclassical room is unexplained. Time appears fractured and unstable. The protagonist ages rapidly without dialogue. Cause and effect dissolve completely. Kubrick wanted viewers to feel displaced. The star child appears without context or narration. Its meaning is never defined. Kubrick rejected symbolic explanations in interviews. He insisted the ending should remain open. This frustrated many audiences. Others found it haunting. The lack of answers forces reflection after the film ends. Interpretation becomes part of the experience. The film does not end in space. It ends in uncertainty. Viewers are left to confront their own assumptions. This refusal to explain was radical for its time. Most films guided audiences gently. Kubrick removed the guide entirely. The ending lingers precisely because it resolves nothing. Fact 7. Upon release, critical response was sharply divided. Several major critics dismissed the film outright. Some called it pretentious and empty. Others complained about its slow pace. Audiences were equally confused at first. Walkouts were common during early screenings. MGM feared a commercial failure. Kubrick remained unmoved by the backlash. He made no major edits to clarify the story. Over time, a younger audience embraced the film. Repeat viewings became common. The film gained popularity through word of mouth. Critics slowly revised their opinions. What was once mocked became admired. Academic analysis followed years later. The film entered university curricula. Its reputation grew steadily rather than instantly. Awards recognition came mainly for visual effects. The true impact unfolded over decades. The backlash became part of its mythology. Initial rejection enhanced its mystique. The film's endurance proved Kubrick's confidence justified. Fact 8.
I think it's being broadcast next Thursday. Perhaps you'll be able to listen in.
Kubrick never expected immediate understanding. He believed the film was designed for the future. Themes of artificial intelligence, evolution, and isolation were ahead of their time. The pacing demanded patience unfamiliar to mainstream audiences. The film assumes intellectual engagement. It does not reward passive viewing. Over time, audiences grew into it. Cultural context caught up with its ideas. Advances in technology made its predictions feel credible. Modern viewers recognized concepts that once felt abstract. The film aged unusually well. Its ambiguity allowed reinterpretation across generations. Each era finds new meaning in it. Kubrick built a film that adapts rather than dates. Its questions remain unresolved. That makes it feel permanently unfinished. The audience completes the film mentally. This design keeps it alive. 2001 does not belong to 1968 alone. It exists outside its release year. Few films manage that. Fewer still do it intentionally. Fact 9. The visual effects of 2001 were created entirely without computers. Every spacecraft, star field, and planetary surface was achieved physically. Miniatures were built at unprecedented scale. Some models stretched several meters long. Motion control systems were invented specifically for the film. Cameras moved with extreme precision to sell realism. Front projection replaced traditional rear projection. This allowed backgrounds to appear sharper and more convincing. The famous Dawn of Man landscapes were created this way. Light and shadow were meticulously controlled. Effects shots often took weeks to perfect. Kubrick rejected anything that looked artificial. Many shots were reworked repeatedly. The effects team operated more like engineers than artists. Their work redefined industry standards. The film won its only Oscar for visual effects. That award went directly to Kubrick himself. Many techniques remained secret for years. Other studios struggled to replicate the results. The effects aged remarkably well. They still hold up decades later. This practical approach grounded the film in reality. It raised expectations for science fiction permanently. Fact 10. Several technologies shown in the film did not exist in 1968. Flat-screen displays were still science fiction. Yet astronauts casually watch video broadcasts. Tablet-like devices appear during routine activities. These resemble modern consumer electronics closely. Video calls are depicted as normal communication. Even their conversational tone feels modern. Kubrick consulted futurists to avoid fantasy designs. He wanted technology to feel boring and integrated. Nothing is presented as miraculous. Machines simply exist. This subtlety made predictions more accurate. Technology evolves quietly rather than dramatically. Audiences at the time barely noticed these details. Later generations recognized their significance. The film anticipated everyday tech culture. It imagined progress without spectacle. This made the future feel inevitable. Many later films exaggerated technology visually. 2001 restrained it. That restraint made its predictions credible. Reality eventually caught up. The film gained relevance with time. Few science fiction films manage that. Fact 11. Despite its futuristic setting, the film presents humans as limited and fragile. Astronauts struggle emotionally more than technologically. Communication feels stiff and awkward. Conversations lack warmth. Procedures dominate human interaction. Machines perform flawlessly until humans interfere. HAL's failure stems from human secrecy. Trust breaks down quietly. There are no dramatic confrontations. Mistakes unfold slowly. Human error becomes the true danger. Kubrick avoided heroic portrayals. Astronauts are competent but emotionally distant. This undermines traditional sci-fi optimism. Progress does not equal enlightenment. Evolution appears incomplete. Humans rely heavily on systems they barely understand. Control is an illusion. The film subtly critiques technological dependence. It suggests intelligence without wisdom is dangerous. This theme grows stronger with each viewing. Humans are not villains, just flawed. The future does not fix human nature. It merely exposes it. That perspective felt unsettling then. It still does now. Fact 12. Kubrick used editing to suggest meaning rather than explain it. The most famous cut jumps from bone to spacecraft. Millions of years pass in a single edit. No narration bridges the gap. Evolution is implied, not described. This cut became one of cinema's most analyzed moments. It compresses human history into seconds. Kubrick trusted viewers to make the connection. Editing replaces exposition entirely. Time becomes flexible. Narrative logic bends. Cause and effect are suggested visually. This approach rejects traditional storytelling. Meaning emerges through juxtaposition. Kubrick believes cinema should work subconsciously. Editing becomes philosophical argument. Images converse silently. The film rewards interpretation, not answers. This demands active viewing. Passive audiences feel lost. Engaged viewers feel invited. The edit defines the film's intellectual identity. It proves cinema can think visually. Few films attempt this. Fewer succeed. This moment alone reshaped film language. Fact 13. The film deliberately avoids clear antagonists or protagonists. HAL is not truly a villain. The astronauts are not heroes. Even the monolith lacks moral framing. Events unfold without judgment. This neutrality unsettles viewers. Traditional narrative expectations collapse. There is no emotional roadmap. Kubrick removes moral guidance. The audience must decide how to feel. This creates ambiguity. Actions are observed, not framed. The film refuses emotional manipulation. Music enhances scale, not emotion. Characters are distant by design. Identification becomes difficult. This distance encourages reflection. Viewers analyze rather than empathize. The film becomes an experience, not a story. This was radical for mainstream cinema. Studios preferred clarity. Kubrick rejected it. The result feels alien even now. That alienation is intentional. It mirrors humanity's insignificance. The absence of heroes reinforces that idea. The universe does not care. Fact 14. Nearly every serious science fiction film that followed was influenced by 2001, yet few dared to imitate it directly. Its pacing discouraged studio replication. Its ambiguity resisted formula. Filmmakers borrowed realism instead. Practical effects became a benchmark. Silence became acceptable. Space was no longer loud or romantic. The film legitimized science fiction as art. Directors referenced it visually rather than structurally. Its influence is subtle but pervasive. You feel it even when you don't see it. Kubrick created a template others avoided copying fully. Fear of comparison was real. The film stood alone stylistically. That isolation protected its status. It remained unmatched rather than outdated. Influence spread quietly. Its DNA exists everywhere. But the film itself remains singular. No remake was attempted. No sequel continued its style. It exists as a closed system. That rarity strengthened its legacy. It influenced cinema without becoming a genre. That is unusual and deliberate. Fact 15. After the film's release, Stanley Kubrick was repeatedly asked to explain its meaning. He consistently refused to do so. Interviews offered only vague philosophical hints. Kubrick believed explanation weakened the experience. He compared interpretation to listening to music. Meaning should be felt, not decoded. Once explained, mystery collapses. He wanted the film to function on a subconscious level. Logical clarity was never the goal. Kubrick avoided definitive statements deliberately. This frustrated journalists and academics alike. Some accused him of hiding confusion behind ambiguity. Kubrick rejected that criticism outright. He insisted the film was carefully structured. Every image was intentional. But intention did not equal explanation. Viewers were meant to participate actively. Their interpretations mattered more than his. This approach extended the film's life. Debate replaced conclusion. The film never closed itself. Each viewing became different. Meaning evolved with the audience. Kubrick's silence became part of the artwork itself. Fact 16. 2001 was designed to reward repeated viewing. Initial confusion often gives way to fascination. Familiarity removes surface frustration. Subtle patterns emerge over time. Visual echoes connect distant scenes. Movements repeat across eras. Technology mirrors primitive tools. Parallels reveal themselves slowly. Viewers notice rhythms instead of plot. Emotional distance becomes thematic rather than alienating. What once felt slow begins to feel deliberate. Silence becomes meaningful rather than empty. The film trains its audience how to watch it. Each rewatch feels calmer. Interpretation deepens without settling. New meanings replace old ones. The film does not resolve itself. It reframes itself. That adaptability keeps it alive. Few films improve with repetition this dramatically. Many exhaust their mysteries. 2001 multiplies them. Time works in its favor. The film evolves as the viewer does. Fact 17. MGM struggled to market the film initially. Traditional trailers failed to explain it. Posters emphasized spectacle without clarity. Early advertising confused audiences. Kubrick resisted simplifying the message. He approved abstract promotional materials. This was risky commercially. The studio feared misaligned expectations. Word of mouth became essential. The film found its audience gradually. Midnight screenings increased its reputation. It became associated with counterculture curiosity. Marketing shifted from explanation to experience. See it to understand it became implicit messaging. The film sold mystery instead of story. That strategy was unusual at the time. It worked unexpectedly well. Confusion became a selling point. The lack of answers invited curiosity. Marketing aligned with the film's philosophy. The experience could not be summarized. That made it intriguing. The campaign evolved organically. This helped cement the film's cult status. Fact 18. Despite its success, the film was never given a conventional sequel by Kubrick. He believed the story was complete. Continuing it would dilute its impact. Years later, a follow-up film was made without his involvement. That sequel adopted a more traditional narrative structure. Kubrick distanced himself from it. He did not oppose its existence, but he did not endorse it. His original vision remained untouched. 2001 was designed as a closed experience. Expansion would have required explanation. Kubrick resisted that instinct. He preferred mystery over continuity. This decision preserved the film's uniqueness. Franchising was already possible. Kubrick declined it deliberately. The film avoided becoming a series. That rarity protected its integrity. It exists as a singular statement. No extended universe followed. Its isolation adds to its power. The absence of continuation feels intentional. The film ends where it must. Fact 19. Modern pacing norms did not exist when 2001 was released. Even then, the film felt unusually slow. Kubrick embraced duration as a tool. Long shots force attention. Movement replaces dialogue. Time becomes tactile. The viewer is asked to slow down. This creates resistance at first. Eventually, rhythm takes over. Patience becomes necessary. The film trains endurance. Watching becomes meditative. This approach was radical. It rejected distraction entirely. Modern viewers often struggle initially, yet many adjust. Once adjusted, the experience changes. Time inside the film feels different. The film creates its own tempo. That tempo lingers afterward. Few films demand this level of patience. Fewer reward it so fully. The pacing is not accidental. It is the film's philosophy made visible. Fact 20. More than 5 decades later, 2001 still resists categorization. It does not belong fully to science fiction. It does not behave like a drama. It operates as a cinematic object. Technological accuracy keeps it grounded. Philosophical ambiguity keeps it timeless. Cultural shifts have not diminished its relevance. New generations approach it differently. Some see technology warnings. Others see spiritual evolution. No interpretation replaces another. The film absorbs them all. It has not been surpassed, only referenced. Advances in effects have not diminished its visuals. Its restraint protects it from dating. The absence of topical commentary helps. The film speaks broadly, not specifically. It remains difficult, demanding, and divisive. That difficulty keeps it alive. Films that explain fade faster. 2001 refuses to conclude. It remains open-ended by design. That openness is its endurance. The film does not age, it waits.